Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Well, it's morning here. I've got no idea what time you're going to be watching this, but from me, good morning. That is my intention for you all. Hope you're all having a great time wherever you are. I'm going to be working and talking at the same time because life is short and life is precious. But the reason I am making this video, and hopefully I'm not making too much noise whilst I'm working at the same time, is to discuss purpose and how I guess the message that I got this morning is that there's an underestimation of how important it is to believe in our purpose, whether that's an individual purpose or the purpose of everything that is happening around us. Like sometimes we can say, oh, it was just a mistake, and we forget, and there's a forgetting there. There's an ignorance, an unconsciousness that's taking space there. It's a conditioning. All these words are really, really important. And what I mean by that is consciousness is always alive, and to think that something happened by mistake, i.e. that was not meant to happen, that was not the outcome intended, means that we haven't understood, or we've unconditioned ourselves from working in a space where we understand intelligence. Life is intelligence, and intelligence is always working. It never takes a moment off. We always see the sun rise and we always see it set, and it works in a particular way and function every day at a certain time, at a certain point, in a certain point in a year, in a certain way. And that is divine. It's not a mistake. And everything in the universe works in that way. And I don't know what I was doing today in my morning that made me think of this, but basically there's too much ignorance, or thinking that we can, well, you can't get away with thinking that it's a mistake, because when we get away with thinking that it's a mistake, we're getting away with our ignorance, and when we're getting away with our ignorance, we're getting away with not seeing a whole and not being part of a whole. We're segregating ourselves once again, and that is not our purpose. Our purpose is always to constantly be breathing in one and whole. And these little fine nuances of life just seem insignificant, but they're highly poignant. It's highly poignant when we're saying, oh, it's just a mistake. It's highly poignant that we stop saying that it was a mistake, because it's never a mistake on anything or one's part, certainly not Mother Earth's part. And this comes into us, it breathes into us. We always think that, no, there is an overperception because of our conditioning and because of the way that we separate, that we can think that things are happening outside of ourselves. And that's why I guess there's a tendency to believe that it's a mistake, because we're not living in tune with the whole part of everything. But the point is that because there are these separations, we can start thinking of ourselves, we then start thinking of ourselves in terms of separation, which means, for instance, we don't know what our purpose is. And when we don't know what our individual purpose is, life becomes really disorientating. We don't know as individuals where we're going, why we're here, who we are, and if at all we've got a point. And then hopelessness comes into play, and depression, and a feeling of not belonging, feelings of not being part of communities, of not being part of families, of not being part of whole spaces. Spaces are always whole, but because there's just so much separation in everything these days, including in our beliefs, like these very small beliefs that there are mistakes, we then get really, really lost in all of these thoughts. And it's so, I call this fine-tuning. It's really fine-tuning because it's these small little nuances that we think don't mean anything that actually means something so completely profound. And we've been scammed. I'm going to say scammed. We've been scammed for centuries now, because texts have been changed and altered, with small little words being taken out and moved around to give very, very different meanings to things. And those slight changes and nuances in those sentences create separation, which then baffle our human existence and purpose here on earth. So when we read something and we see that mistakes are made, and what does a mistake mean? It's interesting. Like something wasn't meant to happen. Like when we think that something wasn't meant to happen, we put ourselves in the driving seat, don't we? Like we are the controller. And yeah, in many ways we are the controller. We're very powerful, but we've also got to understand there's a divine intelligence, and it's taken away the power of divine intelligence. I don't have so much time to talk about this in much great depth. I hope that is enough for now, for whoever needs to hear this right now. I hope that my speaking about this is an enabler for you to, excuse me, for you to go out in the world today and start thinking and observing yourself in your mind, in your thoughts, your subtle thoughts, so you can go out there and why didn't I do that today? And then stopping and thinking about this and reflecting on this and just saying, maybe I didn't do that because I wasn't meant to do it, and I have to trust that today, right here, right now, to trust that I wasn't meant to do that. And see how powerful that is, and see how transformative that thinking is for you, if it is at all. Maybe it's not. Happy for your feedback. Please tell me if this is a powerful tool for you, if it means anything, if it transformed, if it provoked anything, if you learned anything from this as an exercise in your day. And feedback, I'd love to hear. It's helped me a lot, and it helps me to relax mostly. It takes away a lot of anxiety, and hopefully it can help with and in your anxiety today, especially in times where there's just so much depression. This kind of reaping back our thinking and going into a space where we're thinking about things in a much more holistic way, are the things which are going to take us back into relaxing into life again. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you guys, and have a wonderful, reflective day, being with yourself, and lots of love. Take care. Bye.